Well, hello and welcome to the Internal Mobility Podcast, where we explore all of the ways for you to reach your potential here at Randstad while also making this giant company a little easier to understand. Today, our guest is Alp Perahya, and Alp is the president of Integrated MSP, which is Integrated Managed Service Provider. And but he didn't start there. I'm really excited to have Alp here because he actually started in one of those integrated MSP accounts with Bose. So, Alp, tell us that story. Like, when did you start at Bose, and how in the world do you get from an account manager within a singular account to president?
So, thank you for the introduction, Chris, and thanks for the opportunity to highlight the integrated MSP story for internal mobility, which I'm really excited about, because that's a little bit of my own story. And I was not going to correct you, and I knew you were going to ask me that. I actually started in a branch at RGS. And because the internal mobility opportunity back then, obviously we didn't call it that. So 23 years ago, I started in a specialty branch in Cambridge, then moved to Boston, and Bose was one of our clients. And the branch manager asked me to go and help once a week. That's how it all started. So it was an opportunity that I took temporarily to help the account, which then turned into a full-time opportunity. And if I'm being honest, which I always try to be transparent, which I think is really, really important for everybody to feel that sometimes failures are important, right? I hated it. I hated when I went on site from a branch. It was such a different world. And if it wasn't for my manager at the time, I wouldn't be here today. And I kept calling her and begging her to bring me back to the branch. And she said, no, you're ready for this. I want you to go through this opportunity. And in a year, if you don't like it, you can come back, but you have to try this. And the rest is history. I stayed at Bose and became the program manager after 2 years of being an account manager. And from there on, it just continued to grow the same way.
Hold up. I think I need a history lesson here.
Yeah.
I've been here 22 years, not 23, but did we have an integrated MSP product back then? Did that actually exist?
It kind of naturally or organically happened. So Bose hired us to do their seasonal temporary staffing for their stores. And that was our first opportunity to fill jobs at Bose. So that then turned into other things and became the first flagship integrated MSP account 20 years ago. Yeah, that was 2002. So the same story happened with some of our other accounts locally in the same area, like Genzyme, Biogen, Millennium Pharmaceuticals, AstraZeneca. That's how integrated MSP started, really, is turning our high volume accounts into a model where you build customized teams to support all your customers' needs. And then through our evolution of the product and the industry, we kind of moved into the MSP world, brought in the VMS, brought in the recruitment and supply chain management best practices, and kind of putting all the different pieces together, we kind of evolved in the market as the integrated MSP or integrated total talent for the mid-market.
All right. I feel like it's important just to stop and call out for a second. A specific client need you were tapped to go and respond to. You absolutely hated it. Said, no, this is not a fit for me. And then you fast forward and you're now the president of an entire service offering that didn't exist back then.
Yeah. And when I say I hated it, it was really getting outside of my comfort zone, right? It was such a different world. And, you have to sometimes take those steps. And since we're talking about internal mobility, that's really what I love about Randstad, right? They push you outside of your comfort zone and really believe in you, and they catch you if you fall, right? As long as your heart is in the right place, as long as you work hard and do the right things, they'll catch you if you fall. And I'll never forget. I mean, again, I hated it because I was comfortable in the branch. I knew what I was doing. I had, 40, 50 clients that I was servicing. It worked like a well-oiled machine, and I was happy and I was comfortable, but I didn't know what the next step was going to be for me. I never thought about it. But Randstad did, right? Randstad thought about it for me in a way and pushed me and gave me that confidence, but at the same time, comfort zone that, hey, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. We still have a home for you. But really believed in me and pushed me in that direction, which is kind of what I did from that point on as well, with my colleagues and my teams. I continuously pushed my teams, and that's kind of how integrated MSP grew. And when we look at some of our culture today and some of our internal metrics, we have one of the highest engagement scores in the company. Like, I think this year, one of our highest scores was 9.4. Our average has been 8.6. That's really, really exciting. And our average tenure of our management team is 10 years. So it's the same story, right? That continues and repeats itself, is come here, do the right thing. We'll give you the right tools. We'll give you the training, but then we'll push you outside of your comfort zone. You'll make little mistakes here and there. That's how you'll learn, you'll grow. And that's how you'll grow your career here as well. So I try to kind of replicate that as well. And today, like I said, when you look at RCS's or Integrated MSP's management team, which grew from 6 people about 8 years ago to 30 people on our leadership team today, that is a result of our growth as an organization, and growth of our client portfolio, but also growth of our people. And when you look at that, to have almost half of that team, kind of growing within the organization as leaders isn't that what this is all about, right? When we talk about internal.
Yes, that's exactly what it's about. And my mind is a little blown. You've surprised me. I think it's the first time during one of these recordings I've been, but seriously, think about it. Had you not been brave enough to be uncomfortable all those years ago, the company looks different, the products look different, all of the experiences that now you're growing people up through that same structure. I'm mind blown right now. Thank you, Al. That was cool. So somebody's listening to us right now that wants in on that, wants to know what's happening in Integrated MSP, the company formerly known as RCS. I think that's probably important to note. Yeah. So what do you want them to know? What does good look like in terms of internal mobility hires for Integrated MSP?
I think that that's a great question, because when we look at our most successful profiles, a lot of them actually came to us internally through either various acquisitions over the years, or people coming from RIS, from RGS, from Randstad Technologies, Randstad Engineering. And I'd like to think that it really kind of brings your staffing career full circle. When you think about integrated MSP, you have the best practices of an MSP, right? Large customer, big strategy, big opportunity. You are fully dedicated to your client, soup to nuts, end to end. But then you're also leveraging your knowledge and expertise in staffing, fulfillment strategy, talent market, talent management, performance management. Then you turn around and kind of take that a step further. You use business analytics, VMS technology, predictive analytics, all these different things, and you kind of put all of it together, which is, by the way, why we're called Integrated MSP, because we integrate the best practices of an MSP, a staffing solution, as well as talent, suppliers, technology. I think it's the best kind of depiction of when we talk about tech and touch, right? So that's what I would like people to think about or take away when they hear integrated MSP.
Beautiful. And I would like anybody listening to us to know that right now, Integrated MSP has the highest percentage of any one of our operating companies in terms of internal mobility hires. So if Alpha said something that, well, I got to surprise you. Excellent. So if somebody has heard what Alpha said and is interested, just know in terms of a career destination, and his team does a really good job of exploratory conversations too, in the event that there's not an account that has a hole right now, but you just want to know more about what's going on there, give us an opportunity to connect you to this group, please. And with that, Alp, final question, what's been your favorite human forward moment in the last couple of weeks?
So this is an easy one. Last week, we as a leadership team got together, first time in 2.5 years in person. in Boston, where Integrated MSP kind of was born. And to me, that was honestly, I mean, there's so many great examples, but that was my favorite. I mean, 2.5 years of us as a leadership team not being able to get together in person. When we talk about human forward, right? I just can't pick any other example. But what I loved about it is, one, a lot of people who's been here for a long time, going back to your earlier question, half of this team has been together for 10 plus years, getting together after 2.5 years, seeing each other for the first time. You can imagine, right? Seeing kind of parts of your family that you haven't seen in years, which was really great. And then the other half joined us 2-3 years ago due to the large growth that we've been having the last 3 years consecutively, and we hired so many people into leadership roles. And to meet them for the first time, people that we've been working with via Hangouts and Zoom, etc., was really amazing. So I can give you a lot of examples, but it wouldn't do it any justice. I think this trumps them all. So this was my favorite.
A family reunion. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like a Thanksgiving, except for without any of the fights.
Right. Well, beautiful, Al. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
No, thank you. And good luck to everyone who is really looking for an opportunity to move internally. I think it's, obviously I am a little bit biased, but I think it's the best way to learn and grow. So good luck.